more covered over daily updates. So then I'll treat you and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share. And then a Supreme Court a call as was a year Ernest Kumi akotie MP. Na outcome a ban ne say a year GHTV and the buy and the screen is from a year kinkayen. But Supreme Court rules that convicted Akotie MP, Ernest Kumi is entitled a hearing challenging the contempt proceeding at Koforidua High Court. Let us say, the question say Supreme Court ayɛ ama ɛyɛ Ernest Kumi akonya sɛ ɔnkɔpiem ɛwɔ Koforidua High Court na contempt proceedings a ɔmo de too no so no ɔno nso nkɔka deɛ onim anaasɛ ɔnkɔ na ɔnkɔ challenge abusua ɛna ɛda screen so na Sami Gyamfi grante interview ɛwɔ ɛyɛ TV3 na saa interview no abra ɛyɛ projecting ɛyɛ statement no a GH1 TV posti no ɛde ato so no na etie Sami Gyamfi interview a ɔgrante ne nsɛm a ɔkae. God bless you.
I am very used to multitasking. I've done that for the greater part of my adult life. So, yes, it's difficult combining this new role with my role as a National Communications Officer, but I have able deputies in the person of Akogan. Malik is a bit busy now because he's also heading a very important agency, the Youth Employment Agency. But Comrade Akogan has stepped into my shoes, and I provide a direction, and he is always available to implement the decisions we take as a team. And we also have a very good rapport with the current Minister for Government Communications, my very good brother, Felix Ofosukwachi. So we're seeing a very good collaboration between party communications and government communications, and that is how we've been managing so far. Yeah.
Okay. The government of John Mahama and then Nana Jeno Pokwajiman is transitioning from a government that left us with a huge debt stock for which we had to restructure, and it became a point for communication for the party during the campaign. Now, this first budget, how do you think that aligns with what the promises were and what will be done now within this budgetary year?
Roland, you know, I have seen ministers of finance go to parliament every year to present budgets on behalf of the president. In my short adult life, I've seen several budget statements being presented to Parliament. But the truth is one, I have never seen a budget respond to the needs and aspirations of the people. A budget respect the social contract between the government and the people. A budget resonates with the needs and the expectations of the people of Ghana, like the 2025 budget statement, the maiden budget of the NDC Mahama government has done. Look, this is the best budget I have ever seen by far. No wonder it has resonated with the good people of Ghana. Those in the lower, middle, upper class are all excited. It has inspired a great deal of hope in Ghanaians. People have realized that indeed the political class can be trusted. Indeed, they can continue to believe in the Ghana project. They can continue to believe in hope again. I made this point somewhere yesterday, that in the last 8 years under the Akufo-Addo Bawumia MPP government, one commodity that was very scarce was the commodity of trust in public leadership and hope. People lost hope in the political class. We saw unprecedented disillusionment in our young people. People gave up on Ghana. People ridiculed the political class. People lost interest in politics and elections. And I think that partly accounted for the low turnout we witnessed in the 2024 election. Because there were some who erroneously thought that all politicians are the same. They lie their way into office for power, only to flatter to deceive on their promises. Politicians don't respect their social contract with the people. But yesterday, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama demonstrated that all politicians are not the same, and that there are still men of integrity in politics. And that today, you see, it matters when you know that you have a leader you can trust. You have a leader who has regard for you, who respects you, who cares about you, and who will keep his word. I think, for me, beyond the specific policies and measures contained in the budget that was presented to Parliament and by extension the nation yesterday, to me, that was the crux of the issue. Abain Papaba, hope is back. We now have leadership that we can trust, and that makes a lot of difference.
Mr. Jeffy, the former finance minister, the just immediate past finance minister, Dr. Amin Adam, describes the budget as a Sakawa budget, contrary to what you say. Yes,
really?
That's what he said.
Sakawa budget?
Yes, that's the description. What's your response to that?
Well, I wonder what his understanding of the word Sakawa is. Look, don't take these guys serious. They are completely dumbfounded by the details of this budget. They have been totally silenced. You see, but they just have to put up some theatrics to ginger their party base. Yesterday, I was sitting in the gallery. I saw some of their MPs. I saw the look on their faces. It was like, oh no, your party in the big. Stephen Amoa stepped out even before Ato Forson concluded the delivery of the statement, and he didn't come back into the chamber. They could not believe that the NDC could introduce these far-reaching policies and fulfill 99.99, almost 100% of the promises contained in our 120-day social contract, including promises that we did not even make. So when the finance minister, the former finance minister, tells you that this is a Sakawa budget, look, he's engaging in theatrics. This is drama cantata. He can't justify it. Is this Sakawa to promise to scrap the draconian 10% withholding tax on lottery winnings and actually fulfill that promise? That today, young people who have resorted to betting as a refuge because they don't have jobs can have some respite. Before they win one bet, they would have lost 10 or 20. Then they manage to win some 5,000 Ghana cedis. And then Bawumia comes and says, I'm taking 500 Ghana. They win 10,000 Ghana cedis, and Bawumia and Akufo-Addo come and say, we are taking 1,000 Ghana, 10 million. Today, John Mahama is saying that we are scrapping that tax. The bill for the repeal of that law will be laid in Parliament today. And we expect Parliament to expedite the processes towards its passage so that latest by the end of this week, every young person who wins the bet retains 100% of that money. Do you know the relief that will provide young people? We are not encouraging anybody to go and dabble in betting. But the point is that when these guys don't have work, they don't have jobs.
At the height of the campaign.
And so you cannot expect them to go and steal. So if they succeed, bet is a game of chance. They succeed in winning something small from bets after losing so much. It is totally unacceptable for the government to say that, give me 10% of that. Now that would be
no doubt
of the past. How is that Sakawa?
And no doubt at the height of the campaign, the removal of the betting tax was a campaign theme for both parties.
Yeah.
Now, if you, as a response, hear the former finance minister say that they never started implementation or even collection of the proceeds thereof, what will be your reactions?
Of course, those are the words of a liar. Those are the words of a liar. Either he set out to lie to the people of this country, or he was simply not on top of his work as finance minister. TV3, you forget about Sami Jenfi and what the NDC has to say on this matter. TV3 has fact-checked that claim. True of us. True of us. You fact-checked it. I've seen your flyers.
We have.
You put out your verdict. What is your verdict? As far back as October 2023, the GRA commenced the collection of that tax. And I have checked with the finance ministry. Before this budget, GRA had collected about 80 million cedis in, this 10% withholding.
Of the
it's not the component, it is one tax. It is called 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery. Now that tax applies to sports betting. It also applies to national lottery, private lottery and all that. They should say that, okay, they started implementing it on sports betting, but they did not commence the implementation on national and private, lotteries. Say that, and that will be correct. But don't say that you never collected the tax. So if you did not collect the tax, why was Bawumia promising to scrap the tax when he was dancing off beat? You saw those videos. And when Dennis Miracles Abuaje was holding placards, we will scrap betting tax. What were they talking about? So the tax was not enforced. It was not being implemented. So what were they promising to scrap? You see, they have been exposed. There is a video of Mr. Edward Jamra, who is the commissioner for the domestic tax division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. It is captured on video. The man is saying we started collecting these taxes in October of 2023. We got only 50 million. So we are going to put measures in place to ramp up the collections. John Mahama has scrapped it. Not just that. E-levy. A poor person goes to work, maybe some liberal work, or somebody works even in the formal sector. They earn salary. If they are paid that money through Momo, government deducts 1%. If you collect that money and you want to send some to your mother in the village to buy medicine, they deduct 1%. You send some to your sister for upkeep, they deduct 1%. You send some to your friend, they deduct 1%. Government keeps deducting 1% from your money anytime you decide to do an electronic transfer, whether it's a mobile transaction or any form of electronic transfer. And the MPP actually organized town hall meetings. Let's not forget it. Town hall meetings. Kojo Akroma and Kenoforiata held town hall meetings across Ghana justifying this atutubotom tax. Today,
why do you call it atutubotom tax?
The e-levy that they said we cannot do without. Bawumia was the one who sat in the studios of Peace FM in 2020 August, and said Momo is for the poor, it should not be taxed. I mean, every student of economics will tell you that double or multiple taxation is frowned upon by all principles of taxation. Because one money paid to me by my employer, anytime I transfer the money, you are deducting a tax. Why? On the same amount of money. Why? It was clearly unacceptable. Today, that market woman can send money to her children, can send money to her suppliers or Momo without having to pay e-levy. The Momo industry that is dying will now be revived. Because today, that tax, which was discouraging a lot of people to use these platforms, has been scrapped. It is not only e-levy. No, hold on. So if this is what Amin Anta is calling Sakawa, then we like this kind of Sakawa. To promise to scrap e-levy and then you scrap it. To promise to scrap the betting levy and then you scrap it. And then they Ngusieto. You see, these guys were so insensitive.
Which one is the Ngusieto?
Emissions tax. A tax imposed on emissions, simply put smoke.
But it was never implemented.
Who told you that? All, users of vehicles that emit I mean, these gases, motors, Okada, vehicles from 2024 were asked to pay 100 cedis to 200 Ghana cedis. Anytime they went to renew their insurance and things like that, ideally, they were charged. And we see it too.
There was
If we had not voted,
as far as we know.
look, no, it was not an intention, it was implemented. If we had not voted them out, these guys would have come to our houses. Those who still cook with coal-pots, I'm sure they would have levied us emissions tax to pay taxes on the smoke.
But that's too far-reaching.
The principle was to tax emissions. Smoke, musi. That was the principle. Even Emperor Vespasian. Today, nobody has to worry about that because John Mahama has scrapped it. He buys gold from the market. We don't pay 1.5% withholding tax. MEF buys gold from the market. They don't pay 1.5% withholding tax. But when the ordinary gold trader is going to buy from the miner, he must pay. John Mahama says, no, let's remove this incentive for smuggling, this unfair tax. It has been scrapped. It was not even in our manifesto. We have done that. Again, do you know that the MPP introduced VAT on motor vehicle insurance? Anytime you went to do an insurance for your car, for your motor, Oboya or Sprinter or whatever, you were supposed to pay
But
VAT.
I mean, the argument was that we needed revenue.
Oh, so today there we don't need revenue. Every government needs taxes to develop. But in a time of excruciating hardships, you need to adopt a progressive tax model where you impose more taxes on the rich and you impose less on the suffering masses. If you say you are imposing VAT on motor vehicle insurance, then you are telling people not to even go and buy insurance for their motor vehicles. Because it directly impacts the truck driver, the Uber driver, the owner of these vehicles. But we have scrapped that. Does that mean we will not introduce taxes? No, we are introducing a tax. There is a tax that the MPP
daily updates you now 24/7 in every man is my TV. Yes, I'm in feeling a raising topic we say. Budget nearby. Budget be a one on my Ghana because so far so many years in Ghana yako ahunyihiemu na sɛ yako atitinu nti no sɛ budget bi te sɛ abade a ne Ghana for nsomu yɛ ɛbɛboa yɛ pa na me for nsia se na mo fa nsɛm for na kɔbia